In an age of empires and empires of gold, one man turned away. In a world echoing with the clash of swords and the clamor of commerce, he chose silence, simplicity, and song. This is the story of Saint Francis of Assisi, the merchant's son who became the world's most beloved saint. The man who spoke to birds, tamed wolves, and saw the divine in the dust beneath his feet. Born Giovanni di Pietro di Bernardone in 1181, Francis was the golden child of Assisi, the son of a wealthy cloth merchant with dreams stitched in silk and ambition. He loved louder, lived grander, and imagined glory on the battlefield. But war is an unkind teacher. Captured during a skirmish between Assisi and Perugia, Francis spent a year in a cold, dark prison. There, stripped of comfort and certainty, his soul began to stir. Upon returning home, he was not the same. A mysterious illness struck him, and in that feverish haze, a voice called to him. Soon, Francis would walk away from his old life. In the town square, he removed his fine garments, returning them to his father. Naked and reborn, he said, "From now on, I call only God my Father." It was a scandal, it was salvation. Francis chose radical poverty not as punishment but as freedom. He wandered through the countryside, embracing the sick, the shunned, and the forgotten. He rebuilt abandoned churches, starting with the crumbling chapel of San Damiano. There, he heard the crucified Christ whisper, "Francis, rebuild my church." And he did rebuild, not just with mortar, but with mercy. Others were drawn to his light. By 1209, Francis had gathered a brotherhood bound not by blood or coin, but by love and humility. They preached peace, slept under the stars, and begged for bread. When Francis approached Pope Innocent III for approval, the pontiff hesitated. This barefoot preacher was no ordinary monk. But in a dream, the Pope saw Francis holding up a collapsing church. He awoke and granted the order of Friars Minor the official recognition. And that's when the revolution had begun. To Francis, nature was not a backdrop but brotherhood. The birds were his choir, the sun his sibling, and the moon his sister. In the town of Gubbio, a fearsome wolf terrorized the people. But Francis approached it calmly, speaking not with fear, but with friendship. The wolf laid down his head calmly, and peace was made. Francis's love for creation spilled into poetry. His Canticle of the Sun is one of the earliest works in the Italian language. In it, he sings, "Praised be you, my Lord, through brother sun. Praised be you, my Lord, through sister moon and the stars. Praised be you through sister water, brother fire, and mother earth." Long before ecology had a name, Francis lived it as a sacred truth. Years of hardship took their toll. Frail and nearly blind, Francis withdrew to the mountains. There, during prayer and solitude, he received the stigmata, wounds mirroring those of the crucified Christ. He bore them not with pride but with profound humility. As death approached, he asked to be laid on the bare earth. With his final breath, he praised Sister Death, welcoming her as he had all creation. He died in 1226 at the age of 44. 2 years later, he was canonized a saint. His body rests in Assisi, but his spirit walks anywhere the humble serve, the poor are loved, and the earth is cherished. Saint Francis of Assisi, a man who asked for nothing yet gave the world everything. His message echoes in every act of kindness, in every whispered prayer for peace, in every effort to protect our shared home. Pope Francis took his name in honor of the saint of the poor. Climate activists still invoke his words. Monks still walk barefoot in his path. And birds still sing his song. But Francis's legacy is not frozen in the past. It breathes even today. In every hand that tends a wounded creature, in every heart that chooses compassion over conquest. When wildfires rage, when oceans rise, when the cries of the forgotten grow louder, it is the spirit of Francis that reminds us the earth is not ours to conquer, it is ours to cherish. He taught that true riches are found not in gold or glory, but in the quiet miracle of a single flower, a shared loaf of bread, and a forgiving heart. In a world still searching for peace, for healing, for meaning, the barefooted believer of Assisi still leads the way, singing not of power but of praise, not of dominion but of devotion, not of sorrow but of joy.